Hi. Oh, my glasses are transitioned. I was just outside with the doggy. I had a whole video's worth of footage filmed and decided that I didn't like it. So it's not going to get posted, and I'm going to delete most of it. If not all of it. I do still, from what was in the last video, want to talk about the craft fair that I did. That was in November. And we are now in January. It went really well. I made my first sale before I even had all of my products out, and I was blown away by how much money I made. I've spent it all by now, so I can tell you how much it was. I made almost $450, $436 if you want to be exact. And I was surprised at what I thought would and wouldn't sell versus what did and didn't sell. I thought the Alice in Wonderland would go like right away, the doll. She didn't sell. I thought Joy would go right away because the second movie just came out, Inside Out 2. She didn't sell. I sold Oogie Boogie. I had like a Snoopy and Woodstock set. I sold a beanie. The Pick Your Pickle jar that I did, that did very well. That was like the bulk of my sales. I think if I do the craft fair at the end of this year, I will invest in, this is like velvet or Chanel yarn, and I'm going to make them like this. I feel like this is much more cute than just a plain pickle, and I would still charge, I did all my prices even. There was no change, no tax, just even, $5, $15, $30, $40, and so that made transactions very easy. I didn't have to count very much change, but I would make them like this and sell them. This is where I got the bulk of my money from. I sold one Granny Square tote, like grocery bag, and I sold one beanie. I didn't sell any of the keychains that I made, like Happy Face. Some of these things I'm mentioning I have not shown in videos, so if you want to see them, you can look at my Instagram. It'll be linked in the description. But I made like Happy Face keychains that I bought clips for, which I can't show you because all the stuff's in the garage now, and I didn't sell a single one of those, and I was only selling them for $5. And I thought maybe it might have been because I forgot to put the price on the tag itself that I made, and so I wrote it on there with a pen, and they still didn't sell. So maybe that just wasn't the craft fair to sell those in. I didn't sell any of the pumpkins that I made on my knitting loom thing, which I was surprised about. But I think it might have been because it was at the end of November. Yeah, it was in November. I was going to say because Thanksgiving had passed, but I don't think we had Thanksgiving yet. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the harvest season was coming to an end. Halloween was over. Who asked you? You have an opinion? No, she's busy. Halloween had just ended, harvest was over, and we're moving into Christmas. Nobody really wants pumpkins for Christmas. Understandable. So I have a lot of stuff left over if I decide to do the craft fair again. My Mario Brothers set did not sell. I had that price at $300. That was my highest item set, I did sell my nativity scene that I made from the Greta Wings patterns. I sold that for $175 or $150, something like that. I think I dropped down on the price after, because that was the last item that I sold that day. And then I don't know if I showed, I probably didn't, but I bought some corks, like some old wine corks from a thrift store, and I made them into little Christmas trees, and I put like the micro pom-poms on them and some star beads and little faces, and they came out adorable. And I made 6. I sold one to one lady, and that was my first sale, was one of those little Christmas trees. And then the second lady came by, and she was like, well, I want to buy all of them. And the first words out of my mouth were not, thank you. They were, are you sure? Not out of the fact, I'm like, you really want to buy my stuff? I mean, kind of, but not in the sense of like ungrateful, in the sense of, I was like, somebody wants to buy my stuff. That's amazing. And so I did very well. More than I thought I would. And so I still have a lot of the same stuff that I'm gonna try to sell again next time. Okay, actually, I did have one more thing I wanted to say before we dive into some content. My crafting goal for 2025 was to learn how to knit. I already knew how to do pearls. No, I did not. Hello. I already knew how to knit stitch. So that was easy. I had to learn how to purl, and I just, my brain and my hands did not want to compute. And so, some lady that I met in Hobby Lobby showed me hands on, eyeballs on, the difference between a knit stitch and a purl stitch, and my brain just went, and I got it. And so I didn't really teach myself. I was shown how to, and then I watched a tutorial just to refresh my mind on it. And I wanted to learn how to knit in the round, but the thing is that I am knitting continental because I learned how to crochet first, and so that just means that the yarn comes from the left instead of the right, like it normally. This is obviously going to be mirrored, okay? I will show you up close in a second. Oh, I also got some new filming gadgets I'm excited to try out. But let me show you. Hold on. Okay, anyways, what I was saying is that I did not learn English knitting because I am a crocheter. My yarn comes from the left, so I learned continental. And so I also make my knit stitches backwards. Nobody at me, okay? But it does the same thing. So it's blue. It's not this dark. I guess it is. I was gonna say it's not this dark in person, but it is, with these specks in it. And I'm gonna make just one long tube, so I don't have a backside. I'm gonna fold it in on itself, and we're gonna call it we're gonna pretend that it was meant to be what is called, I think, a cowl, C-O-W-L, which is like a neck scarf type thing. And it's not. It is a scarf, but it's not like an infinity scarf. It's not super long. It's not a like a regular long open scarf. I think the closest I could equate it to would be like a turtleneck, but just the neck part. And I wanted to do a pair of socks because I just scored major on a yarn haul. My dad actually bought it for me, and I will show you now, I guess. Okay, I kind of separated it. I've obviously been using it since then, but there was a lot of this like tatting for doilies in it that I've separated from the rest. This is what I like spun, and I had originally intended on spinning all of it into cakes, but I was like, that's gonna be so much extra unnecessary work to then just move it back and forth from box to box. Like, obviously I'm gonna use all of it. I might as well just leave it the way it came. Then over here I have this bag is what I went through and separated. These are not necessarily, I mean, scrap, I guess, in the sense that none of them are enough to make one project out of. And then I have these two giant boxes full of yarn, and I could tell the person that had this yarn, and I think it might have been like an older woman who maybe passed away, was a knitter. A knitter. Had to enunciate that because I didn't last time and it sounded not good. Anyway, because I think the person that had this yarn was a knitter, because these thinner yarns are, well, for knitting, it literally says knit picked on there, but also for making socks. There's a lot of sock yarn. Let's see. In here, this one is so soft. This would make a good pair of socks. But it's a lot of sock yarn. So, I think I'm good on yarn for the rest of the year, probably. Now, one of the things I got for Christmas is this eye doohickey. It's actually called an eye snapper, and it's for putting the backs on safety eyes. I almost forgot that I had got this until I was putting the eyes in, and I was like, wait a minute. I have that thing. So we're going to try it out. So I'm making this bear. Right, and I put the eyes in, the face. And I put the backs on. Here they are. And so I got out 3. This bear is not getting 3 eyes. he's getting two. You know, the normal amount of eyes. I think I'm supposed to put one of these on in it. It also came with like a little wrench looking thing. I don't quite know what this is for. It just says Craft Easy on it, which is the brand of the this. I do not know what this is for. I'm assuming it has something to do with the eyes though, because it's got a cutout in it, right? Anyway, we need this part. I think this, you're supposed to put this like this. Or does it go the other way? It might go the other way. Oh. Okay. I think it goes that way. Okay. And then how am I supposed to? I don't really have a lot of trouble with the bigger eyes. It's with the smaller ones that I have trouble with. Not like these specific, the shiny eyes. These are like the Beanie Boo eyes. I have a lot of trouble with just like the regular generic kind of eyes. What I will say, I already like this. This is the first and second eye I've ever used it on. I already like this thing a lot. I was gonna do orange, but I thought gold might look better. And I think I'm gonna brush it out. Well, I am gonna brush it out, that's the plan. Is to brush out. This is supposed to be, it's acrylic, but it's supposed to look like mohair. It does not. It feels like it. It's really soft, kind of. But it does not look like mohair. And whatever brand of yarn made this yarn and lied and said that it looks like mohair needs to stop lying, because no, it doesn't. It looks like fuzzy acrylic, because that's what it is. Anyway. So, I'm gonna put, I still don't know what this is for. Unless it's for taking the eyes out, like if you put them in the wrong spot and you know, like, you know, and, but I don't know. And I don't care to find out. Because I don't know what else you would use it for. But I will take this out. Put it back in here, I think. And then this is conveniently a stand to hold it upright. But I'm going to keep it in the drawer I keep all my other craft stuff in. So. Okay. I just gotta say, my brain and my hands are having a hard time cooperating today. This might be a train wreck. But I finished ahead of my bear. I don't know why this doesn't want to focus. I cleaned my camera, lens, and everything. I don't know what's up with my camera, that it doesn't want to focus anymore. That's kind of disrespectful. I did not agree to the yarn. You can't even see because it won't focus. Wow. Anyways, you see that brown line right there? Kind of, not really, because it won't focus. That's the yarn that I used to do the face shaping. That slipped down behind the eye instead of... Yes, thank you, Sassy, for your input. That slipped down behind the eye. Anyway. Oh, also, I want to talk about this pattern. This is a bear pattern, right, by Jess Huff. And she makes free patterns and puts them on her website. And she has a Facebook page that I follow. And I kind of hope she never sees this because I don't want her to take it personally. Because she and Greta Wings, they make the most beautiful free patterns that I've ever seen. But I feel like, and this is my own personal opinion, that in Jess's attempt to make her patterns more accessible by making them more no-sew, like, hold on, I have one of her other ones that I made. Where's my, hold on. Okay, this is one that I really need to stop saying okay. I'm becoming hyper aware of how much I say that now. But this is one that I made for someone that passed away. My birds have wrecked him. Honestly, I'm thinking about taking him apart. This is her old pattern. And the face, he's so cute. The face and the snout, muzzle are two different pieces. And so you really have creative liberty on how wide or narrow you want the muzzle to be. I made mine, it's like round. Well, it's made from a chain, so it's got like an oval shape to it, but I made mine even more narrow when I sewed it on to give it the snout look. So this is two, obviously the nose makes a separate piece. She made the pattern where the snout is one piece attached to the face. I don't like this. And I know you're probably saying, well, you don't have to make her patterns. I know that. But I also know that there's a way on, I think it's through the Facebook page, to find the, like, archived old patterns. Because this is just not cutting it. I do not like the way this looks. And I just want to say that if you crochet, and this, what I'm about to say is excluding people with disabilities. Okay, I know arthritis makes crocheting very, very hard because it's with your hands. If you can't use your hands, you can't crochet. I understand that. But if you're just lazy and you crochet and you don't want to take the time that it takes to sew projects together because it's annoying, tough luck. Sewing is part of crocheting. If you're making plushies, you have to sew the body parts on. That's just how it works. She has adjusted the pattern so much to accommodate for people who don't want to sew that I think it's losing part of its authenticity. This, in my opinion, while cute, is ugly. This is cute. And if you're too lazy to make this is the pattern, used to be. If you're too lazy to make this, you don't need to crochet because this, I didn't mean to throw it down, I dropped it. I just don't like the way this looks. If I could even just find the head pattern and the muzzle, and then just, because the body and the arms are, I'm sure it's still the same. This, in my opinion, is cuter to me. That's what in my opinion means. Than this. Shape-wise, not color-wise, right? So, Jess, please stop. Please stop accommodating lazy crocheters. My birds have gotten to this, like I said, so he's peeling really bad. I should just brush him out with a slicker brush and make him a fuzzy bear. Because that's what he's turning into. My birds have picked at this. Which is why I said I'm considering taking it apart. But it reminds me of someone that I miss dearly. That has passed away. An orange feather. None of my, oh, that must be from Sassy. Like, neither one of my birds are orange, but Sassy, she's on the ceiling fan. Are you gonna come down? No. She has orange on her cheeks. Anyway, Jess, please stop. And I see a lot of people complaining about, for her to make them more inclusive, she has started, I don't know if it's always been like this. I don't think it has, because I've been making her patterns for a long time. I don't think it's always been, but she started putting, like, okay, on this round, count this many stitches and leave a mark. That's where you're gonna put the eyes and put the ears. And I see so many people on her Facebook complaining about why she even puts the markers in, on where to put the eyes and where to... Eyes is helpful because eye placement can be tricky. I just make the face and guess, and they usually end up pretty good because face shaping makes it look fine. But I see so many people on her Facebook complaining about, like, why is she giving us all these marker indicators? Because they're almost never in the right spot. And that's to no fault of the creator, right? If she's making the pattern and that's where she feels that the markers need to be, then that's her pattern, and maybe it's just us miscounting or not, like, using a different yarn or a different hook, and so the size difference puts things in different places. But I just don't like the way the face looks anymore. I feel like this is not giving bear. This is giving otter. The shape of it. This is giving fuzzy little otter that lives in a lake and eats clams and oysters. This is not giving bear. This is giving bear. This is giving, I almost said oyster. This is giving oyster. But please stop. You're adjusting your patterns into oblivion, and they're not the same anymore. Sincerely, somebody who is not too lazy to do what it takes to make a complete pattern. Now, this out of the way. Second project, I'm probably not going to get through the knitting thing in this video. Knitting is just so boring to me, probably because I've only learned the basics and it feels like it's taking 15 ever. I understand that knitting is like a slow burn kind of art. Like, the enjoyment is that you take an extended duration to make something. I'm not about that. I get lazy, and I don't get lazy, not when it comes to crafting, but I get discouraged, and I am just bored, and I'm like, I could take this apart and use this yarn for something else that I enjoy more. But that's not what I'm talking about today. So every once in a while, well, I have this whale. You're not going to be able to see what I'm talking about. I have this whale that holds all my needles, right? All of my tapestry needles. And I'm a little tired of this whale, of seeing it in my room. I've had it for a long time. Before this, I kind of think that I just set my... I had something else that I had made. This is for leather work. I could probably throw this one away, honestly. I don't plan on doing any more leather work. That was a nightmare the first time. But I don't remember what design I had before this. But I had something else that I had. Anyway, it's a whale. And so, you can't see because of the angle of the camera. I'm thinking about... I moved the camera up higher. I'm thinking about making something different. Honestly, I'm tired of this guy. He's cute, but I'm just over this. It's big. It takes up a lot of space. Over that. So, in the yarn that I got, I found this green one, and I was thinking, what cuter that more accurately represents needles than making a cactus? And so I thought maybe I could make that, but I've had my eye on this pattern, and I'll see if I can find it. It was a coffee mug that I wanted to make because it looked more compact versus a cactus that would have to stand. Honestly, I could just put them in a tub. Or, like, if I had a pill bottle, that would be perfect. Except for my giant one probably wouldn't fit in there. This one, oy! As I throw it across the room, this one is 6 inches. This one I like because it's good for working on big plushies where my little needles just are not long enough. Also, the blunt tip sometimes just ain't it. This one's really pointy. Very sharp. I have stabbed myself a lot of times on it. Not fun. So... do I want to make... the cactus just is probably not going to fit where I want to put it. What if I just make a circle? A ball? I don't know. I want it to be... what if I make like a... what would that be? A dome? Like a semicircle? Half spear? I don't know. We'll figure it out. up with this moss ball dome kind of shape. It's okay that you can see, you know, through the stitches. It's not anything to sell. I stuffed it with the aftermath of the whale. I did take him apart, and I hate to waste all this yarn, but it's kind of dirty, and I just don't want to clean it. I might wind it and make something for myself. It is really squishy though. So, and I put hot glue in the bottom so that it would stay flat, also so that it would be kind of weighted. I don't know why I thought putting these needles in here would make it have any amount of weight to it, because they're just, that one's got paint on it. Paint probably from when I was doing like face details or something. It doesn't have to be the cutest thing ever, right? It's just holding needles, and I'm the only one that's gonna see it. Nobody usually that doesn't live with me usually comes in my room. Even then, why would I care what they think? It's my craft stuff, right? I like that this is more compact. I can pick up the whole thing if I need to look for a specific needle. So this is done, and it just sits right over here. I like that much better already. So I'm in the middle of assembling my bear, and this leg is a row shorter than this one that's already attached. I just still have it pinned so I can get the I can't even talk right. So I can get the placement right. So to fix this leg, it just needs one more row across the top. I'm going to hide, this is my original tail, right, to sew it on with. I'm going to use my giant needle. I guess I should have put a needle. I'll put it before. A needle warning. A trigger warning. I also just kind of broke my nail putting my phone into the tripod. That's alright. I'll survive. I haven't been doing much lately besides playing the games I got for my Switch for Christmas. A lot of Luigi's Mansion 3, a lot of Luigi's Mansion 2. I played the... Have I suddenly forgot what I'm doing? The Super Mario Wonder game. That one was pretty fun. Actually, the gameplay was surprisingly easy, and I think it's because throughout the game there are like hidden entrances to a secret world, and the secret world levels are supposed to be the challenging part of the game. And challenging they were. I think I unlocked 3 out of 6, and I don't think I've beat any of the secret world levels that lead up to what is supposed to be the most difficult level in the entire game, which I'm not even gonna bother trying because I know my capabilities for Mario, of which they are not great. So this tail I just hide in the body, since I don't need it. Somehow I will hide this in the body. Somehow I will hide. Okay. So then, now my legs are the same size, and I don't have to worry about it unraveling, hopefully. Since this is supposed to be like knockoff mohair, I really wanted to brush this bear out and make it kind of fuzzy looking. But I think it'll ruin it. Unless I have a slicker brush, like one for dogs, that I obviously don't use on my dogs. I use it only for plushies to make them fuzzy. And so I think these really come out 2 different sizes. I kind of wasn't paying attention when I made this. I made these Jess Huff patterns so much that I kind of autopilot when I'm making them. I always have my pins on the wrong side. Every time. And I forgot what I was saying. Before I was talking about autopiloting the Jess Huff pattern. Also, I forgot to ask on the Facebook if anybody knows how to find the archived patterns. I'm gonna have to ask at some point, because this one piece bear face, ew, just not cutting it. If you're too lazy to sew plushies, then you should not be making plushies. And that is just my professional opinion. Do I consider myself a professional crocheter? I've been doing it for 6 years, and that's not to say that I don't know that there's people who've been doing it for their whole life. So I guess I'd say no, because there's always room to learn, right? There's always something new I could learn. I don't know anything past the basic stitches. Like, I know obviously slip stitch, single, half double, double, treble crochet, but I don't know like the moss stitch. I kind of wanted to learn, but then I saw a picture of it and I didn't think it was very pretty, so I didn't learn it. I was trying to learn the waffle stitch, which I gave up on. I think I already talked about that though, how front post, I was not very familiar with working in the front post of a crochet stitch, and so I was just so confused. And I gave up on that. That was a few years ago though. I'm sure I would get it if I tried it again now. We're gonna pretend like my voice did not just crack like that. Okay, thank you. We're just gonna not acknowledge that, alright? I have the feeling that this fake mohair will not unravel. I've seen people work with mohair, and I know that the stigma about it is that it's really hard to take apart if you make a mistake, because of the fibers. They get stuck together really easily, which, I'm not gonna lie, kind of sounds like a pain in the butt to work with. This is not gonna fit through here. Oh. I might have to enlist the help of pliers to get this through my bear. Don't look at my crusty old pliers, okay? They're very trustworthy. What have I done? Help. Finally, oh my gosh, I had to squeeze it between my knees to get leverage on the bear enough to pull it. I don't know why it wouldn't come out. It went through the body, it went in, but wouldn't come out. That was stupid of me to do. I won't be doing that again. At least not with the size hook that I used to make this bear, which was a 2.5. He might be a little deformed right there now, but that's okay. because it's in the back and it doesn't matter. So now he just needs his ears. His ears and his tail. And I have them made. They're right here. And then we'll be done with him. I don't quite know how I'm supposed to tie off the tail because this yarn is nearly impossible to separate because of how fuzzy it is. And yes, I did sew the tail on kind of low because I want it to support the bear while it's sitting up. So this bear does sit upright, which is pretty nice if you want to like display him. Well, it. But I'm gonna attempt to separate these. Watch this be easier than it was the last time I tried it, and it accidentally broke apart and I had to use craft glue to secure it instead on the head. Hello? Separate, please. My birds are upset with me today because I took the nesting box out of the cage because my bird's not laying any more fertile eggs for some reason, so there's no sense in them having the nesting box in the cage, right? You would think. I guess it worked. But no, my birds disagree with you. They would call you disrespectful, and then they would scream at you for 20 minutes like they did to me earlier until I finally put them outside in their cage that they have out there so they could just enjoy the nice weather. Since it's not actually gotten cold this year in California. Not surprised there. It was hot so long in 2024 that I was just expecting it to be hot through the end of the year. It did not cool down until maybe the week of Halloween. That's exactly what happened on the head. Luckily, I was actually able to tie 2 knots, so I can just okay, bear is done. Why his ears look so big? Why do your ears look so big? I still think he's cute. I think I do think I'm gonna brush him out, but I think I'm gonna do it just slightly. This is my slicker brush that I use for crafting. Mohair is this is not real mohair. This is looks like mohair. It's fake. It's acrylic yarn. This does not look like mohair. Except for maybe in the way that it feels. But look, no, it looks like acrylic. It's supposed to look, I don't think ratty is the right word. Hello, it's Editing Me. I just want to say that this is a different segment coming up. It just cuts right to the next one, and I do think I say what this project is for, but I just want to say it's going to be a butterfly, and it's for one of my mom's coworkers who is really going through it with cancer right now, and so my mom asked me to make this for her. So that's why it just cuts from one project to the next. Okay, so here we go. Some lady on Facebook gave me the Benedict the Bear, the original pattern. Please don't look at all that stuff. That is all yarn. That's a bag of yarn, boxes of yarn. It's all yarn. Just hold on, don't look at it. Okay. So I think I'm gonna end this video out by making the original Benedict the Bear. So far all I've done is the front of the head and the snout, and it already looks so much better. But because I sewed the nose to the snout, like the muzzle part, before I sewed it to the face, there's this weird gap there. So I'm going to take some of this brown yarn and just sew back and forth right here to kind of close that up and make it look cohesive. And I think that will look better. I'm going to use these orange or amber colored, like the Beanie Boo eyes for this bear. I kind of wanted to do green, but I thought that would kind of look weird. Anyway, so the rest of the video is going to be documenting the making of this bear. The original Benedict the Bear pattern. Not whatever this disgrace is. I'm gonna look at them side by side. I just don't like how flat this is. I like the convenience of it being one piece. I just don't like how it makes the head look so narrow. If I had put more stuffing in the snout, which if I make this again, which I'm sure I will, you see the difference? And this is only half of the head. So I just like how the snout on this is more pronounced. Then this is just not it. This needs more stuffing, but I've already sewed it up, so it's too late to put it in there. Next time, I'll add more. It needs just like a little bit more. But I'm gonna finish up the head today, hopefully, and then the body is the second biggest part to make, and then the arms and the legs and the tail and the ears are easy. So it shouldn't take me very long. But the next thing I'm gonna do is sew up the nose part right here and cover that ugly transition line. Okay, my nails are getting a little long to crochet with. I really like this color. I know this is not crochet related, but it's this one. It's got the Walgreens sticker on it still. But it's Sally Hansen Pure. And it's got a weird formula because it's vegan. It's kind of streaky, but if you let it sit, it spreads out really nicely. And it's a really pretty, like, baby blue color. It's a little more muted in real life than it is on screen. But this is a really good, if you can find this one, it's in the color 370 Crystal Blue. Okay, anyway, this is my bare face. So I'm gonna try to put the eyes in. Oh, hold on. I needed my eye clicker thing. I really like this thing. It came with this, and I have no idea what this does. I thought it might have been for, like, if you get the eyes in the wrong spot in the head, then you would just, like, slide this under it and take it out, right? Because it doesn't do anything on here. My dad said I could message the lady he got it from on Instagram and ask her. I'll have to see if I can find it on Instagram. Patent pending. I hope they get it. Anyway, I'm gonna mark. Oh, first I'm gonna sew up the face though. This part right here. I guess if we're gonna talk while I do this, I could talk about. I have never suffered from eczema in my whole life, but as of late, I've had it so bad on my hands, on, like, here's the side of my fingers, and right here. And at first my parents thought, like, oh, it's because of how much yarn you work with. And I'm like, no, I'm right-handed. This is my right hand, right? My right hand holds the hook when I crochet. It doesn't even touch the yarn. And the only thing that's been working so far is the O'Keeffe's working hands. I could tell a difference in my hands after using that stuff literally overnight. It was amazing. I was so surprised at how different my hands felt. And I kind of want to try, this doesn't sound to be gross, but I want to try the working feet one on my hands. Just because, obviously, foot skin is thicker than hand skin. And so I wonder if the formula of the lotion, I wonder if it would be more effective because it's made to penetrate deeper, thicker skin. But it's so expensive. I wanted to get the cream that comes in the little tub. 20 bucks? No. I went to Family Dollar and found this little one for like 2 bucks. It was amazing, and I've used almost all of it. But I've also been using, for Christmas, my friend got me like a shower kit thing, and it came with lavender oil, and so I was like, I'm never going to use that. Like, what would I even use lavender oil for? I don't have a diffuser. I can't have that kind of stuff in my room because of my birds. And I googled, you know, the benefits of lavender oil, and it said that it's good for dry skin. And so I've been rubbing it on my hands. You can kind of see right there where it's red, where I've been scratching, just because if my skin's not cracked open, it itches like crazy. And what I want to get is some anti-itch spray. Because I've used that stuff before, like the bug bite spray. I want to get some of that. Because me scratching my hands is what's keeping them so torn up. Even if they're not dry and flaky like they normally are, scratching the skin and irritating it doesn't help it get better either. That already looks better than it did. I'm glad I did this. So I'm going to tie it off, and then we'll move on to the eyes, okay? I like to do all of the eye stuff I can, what I can reach from the inside of the face, because I like that I have more control over it than trying to do it all from the outside. Like, obviously, I will do the face shaping or the indentation from the outside, because you can't really do it properly until you have the head filled with fiberfill. So that's the only part I leave till the end. But after I put in the eyes, I will probably do the eyebrows. So let me I don't follow the pattern where she says to put the eyes. I usually just guess and it comes out alright. That's why I wanted to do the muzzle part first, so I could just... Because once you smash the face in... This is my trick to guessing, right? You have the face, and it's at this stage. I also used a styrofoam ball to put this on. To put the face on, so I could pin it down and sew onto it before it was stuffed. And that's how I kept my face part still. So, what I like to do is, when I have it like this, and obviously I'm looking straight at it, but I have it faced toward the camera this time, is to make indentions with your thumbs. And that kind of gives you the shape of what the face would look like when it's got the face shaping done. Even though we're nowhere near that step, right? This is kind of what the face is going to look like after, once the shaping is all done. This helps me kind of guess where I want my eyes. I want them to be in the middle of these indentations. And so I'm just going to use two, needles in the middle of my indentations. But I kind of have to line them up with my nose because I don't want the face to look crooked. So in the middle of both of these would be there. Do I have another? I have another tapestry needle just like this one. I have no idea where it is. And I'm sad because these metal ones are my favorite. I guess I'll just pick a random one. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? But I do want to be in the same row on this side. And then I can adjust it. All that does look pretty even though. And then because I'm using such a small hook to make this with, I'm using a 3mm hook. I'm just going to use a bigger one. This is a 5 to make the hole. You can't even see that, but it basically opens up the stitch. Force it through. Hello. Give it a tug. Okay, you can kind of see that one better. Where I opened up the stitch. And then... Now, obviously it looks a little wonky right now, right? I see some people in this group, no shade, okay, but I'm gonna call you out, who will go through all the... See how it doesn't look even? That's just because the face is not shaped. Also, my nose is a little crooked there. It's alright. But people who will not do the face shaping when they make crafts like this, and their plushie just comes out looking so weird because they will not do, like, there are just people in that group who do not like to sew when it comes to crocheting. I'm sorry, but some plushies just need it. The face looks so broad and it's not cute, and then you wonder why people don't want to buy them. And I'm not saying that my work is just like spectacularly stupendous, but I am saying that if you want people to buy your work, you have to put effort into making it look presentable, right? You can't just make garbage and then wonder why nobody wants to buy it. And there's a difference in if you're learning. I'll never fault someone for learning because it is a process. But now they're too close together. What have I done? But if you're gonna not even be willing to do the bare minimum what it takes to make your work look presentable, don't be offended when nobody wants to buy it. You know? If they wanted to buy trash, they could just make it themselves. That's alright. I'm just gonna... obviously I can't undo the nose. I'm just gonna have to deal with the face being the slightest bit crooked. The nose is off center. Anyway. I don't know why the nose is off center. I sewed it right to the middle. As I'm sitting here criticizing people for not making their stuff look good. But I sewed it correctly, okay. My point was face shaping. people who don't want to face shape and then wonder why nobody wants to buy your stuff. It's because it looks like trash. I'm sorry. But then again, that statement does not apply to those who are in the learning process. Crocheting, especially plushies, I can't even speak, is a process. So don't give up, right, if you're learning. But don't also do the bare minimum. That makes that so much easier. Don't also just do the bare minimum and then act all dumbfounded like why nobody wants to buy your stuff. Because first of all, nobody is obligated to buy anything from anybody. That's the beauty of the free market. You can buy or not buy if you do or do not want to. This is supposed to stand up. Okay, I was gonna say, but I can't really get mine to. Also, it's not blue. This makes my nails look more true to color than they are. This is like a mint color. That's how off my camera is with some colors. It's not blue. In real life, it's mint. It's a pretty color in real life, I think. Okay, anyway. Now, it's gonna look like this till I get it done. But once the face shaping is done, then they'll look. Should I just do the eyebrows while I'm here? No, I'll do them at the end. So I still have 5 more rounds to extend the head out, and then I will decrease and close it off, and that'll be my head finished. My bird is a little upsetty spaghetti right now because he won't listen and stay off my bookshelf, and so I locked him in his cage. So if he starts wailing, that's why. Okay, I did not film an outro. Whoops. I finished the other Benedict. Adorable. I cannot even put into words how much I love the original pattern. So rude. This is what the other one looked like before it started peeling because my birds are domestic terrorists and tore it up. So I think this one actually came out a little bigger, which is ironic, because I'm pretty sure I made them with the same hook size. They both do sit up independently, which you can't see because my camera's not down that far. But I just love this face shape so much more. This is giving teddy bear. This is giving lazy. I know I've said it twice already, but I'm gonna say it again. If you are too lazy to sew a plushie, and once again that excludes people with arthritis or a disability that would make it hard for them to sew. But if that's not you, then I'm talking to you. Stop being lazy. If you're not willing to sew a plushie, then don't make plushies. Make wearables or something else. Make hats, which also still requires some sewing. Because this is not it. Like, he looks like his face got ran over. My bird. Anyway, I like this one better. I have already started some other projects, but I still have to take a thumbnail picture. I loathe doing that. But I'm not gonna. One of them I can't show because one of them's already went to where it's forever home. So I will put a picture of it in the next video maybe. It is, I'm not gonna tell you because I just said I wasn't gonna tease them. One is sitting right here half finished. Oh, there is something else I'm working on, but I will show you in the next video. I was like, I swear I was making more than 2 things at a time. So, he's done, and this is the end of the video. I doubt anybody watched the whole thing. But if you did, you're amazing. Thank you, and I will see you next time.